All right. Sorry about that, guys. My my laptop um isn't very powerful. I just use that for coding and the connection wasn't very strong, so it just kept uh dropping and I didn't realize for like 12 minutes. I apologize for that. But how you guys doing? So basically, what I was speaking about before the connection dropped is that Tesla. Let me just pull it back up. Tesla is working with the Nevada DMV um, to try to test their new self autonomous semi trucks. And these trucks can not only drive themselves autonomously, but they can drive in a platoon formation. So basically a whole bunch following like the one in front. They're all following behind each other, closely together, which is going to drastically uh, eliminate the need for human drivers. It won't do it 100%, at least not yet. There'll need to be at least a couple, um, or even if there's one in every truck, right now there still needs to be a human element. But the even bigger factor right now is the fact that the lithium ion batteries cannot produce enough energy to compete with diesel in terms of how many miles you can get on a full charge versus how many miles you can get on a full tank. Right now, most semi trucks on a full tank, you'll get about 500 miles. On a full charge on a lithium ion battery, the most you can get right now is about 80 miles. So Tesla hasn't made any official deals yet. However, they are banking on the fact that the technology in batteries is probably going to be, well, I mean, not probably, it will be better in the next 5 to 10 years. That being said, let me go back down to the paragraph. I gotta find it real quick. All right. They also spoke to the California DMV. Now, this is from the California DMV spokeswoman Gonzalez. California DMV spokeswoman Gonzalez said that Tesla had requested a meeting on Wednesday to introduce new staff and talk about Tesla's efforts with autonomous trucks. She said that the DMV was not aware of the level of autonomy in the trucks. Tesla declined to comment on the matter, referring Reuters, I'm on Reuters.com, to the previous statement made by Elon Musk, who had discussed the truck in tweets and at the annual shareholder meeting. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of fishy. You're meeting with the spokeswoman of the California DMV, and you're not telling them the level of autonomy in the trucks uh, until after meetings have already been made. And a corporation is only going to meet with the municipality for big level stuff. So it makes you wonder what's the future for people in that industry, which is always the trucking industry has always been one of the main like talking points about automation. People, well, I say, will say truck drivers will be put out of work, but Elon Musk has been a big proponent for universal basic income, which I'm gonna touch on that in a second. But first, I want to talk about the second issue I wanted to speak with you guys about, which was the fact that Bill Gates put down $80 million to purchase 25,000 acres in the middle of 45 minutes outside of Phoenix, Arizona. Excuse me. And that he plans on building a smart city on top of there. I got the article right here. This is from thestreet.com. Let me go up. Oh, and by the way, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett, those three men put together are worth more than 50% of the United States' wealth combined. So, what's the country's wealthiest man to do with an extra $80 million lying around? Build his own smart city, of course. Microsoft Corporation co-founder Bill Gates and his investment firm Belmont Partners have invested $80 million to jumpstart development of a smart community in Arizona. Gates bought about 25,000 acres of land in the state's West Valley, about 45 minutes west of downtown Phoenix. Belmont Partners told local media, according to KPNX, the proposed community will be called Belmont. Belmont will create a forward-thinking community and a communication and infrastructure spine that embraces cutting-edge technology designed around high-speed digital networks, data centers, new manufacturing technologies, and distribution models, autonomous vehicles, and autonomous logistic hubs, Belmont Partners said in a news conference. Belmont Partners said 3,800 acres will be devoted to office, commercial, and retail space. About 470 acres will be used for public schools, and most of the rest of the land will be used for as many as 80,000 residential units. It is not clear when construction will begin. Comparable in square miles and projected population to Tempe, Arizona, Belmont will transform a raw blank slate into a purpose-built edge city built around a flexible infrastructure model, Belmont Partners said. Gates' venture into utopian community development will work to best similar attempts around the world, according to Arco Santa, Arizona architect Paolo Soleri. Created an experimental town in the 1970s aimed at integrating architecture and ecology. In India, the federal government is working to build 100 high-tech cities to serve as idealistic layouts for the country's future infrastructure. The bid to create the smart cities began in 2014, but has drawn criticism from India's private sector for taking too long to get off the ground. As for domestic smart city development, the ball is now in Facebook billionaire Mark Zuckerberg's court to match this purchase. All right, so that last line about that last line is very very telling. So Bill Gates put up 80 million, and now they're talking about Mark Zuckerberg's going to match his purchase. So sounds like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg about to go in on and build this smart city. I want you guys to think about this for a second. The Bay Area, Silicon Valley, prior to the .com era, was a very comparable place to live compared to the rest of the world. It was a very artistic town, a very artistic area. Long story short, it was very affordable to live. The .com era came, influx of high-end paying salary jobs that came to this area. People got pushed out, cost of living went up. What do you think is going to happen to the standard of living for people living in Phoenix and surrounding areas by Belmont, Arizona, once this smart city has taken off, and it is having all these high tech companies with all these high tech salaries. It's basically going to be a rich haven. I mean, everybody who's going to live there is going to be making six figures, or the vast majority. What's that going to do to the surrounding economies? Because not everyone is going to live there. Some people are going to commute. Some people may, you know, decide, hey, I don't want to live in Belmont. I want to live in a place a little cheaper, and they're going to move out and move out and move out and forward and forward and forward. That's basically what happened in Silicon Valley. Um, as people migrate, picture like a radius, bunch of concentric circles. As people migrate out, the cost of living rises associated with where they're moving to. It's migration. So while I applaud the effort because I'm a techie, I believe that all of society really should be automated, but I also understand the turbulence that is going to come in that transition of automation. So that's really more so what I want to talk about because I think it's a great initiative. But I also realize that the economic consequences that's going to happen because of that. Jamel Jackson, nice video, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it. So as I was saying, the as people move out, the local economies are going to start being affected. So let's just watch. I'm very interested to see what happens, especially with Phoenix, since that's going to be the nearest city. What's going to happen with the local economies as this smart city, uh, builds up? Now let's go back to Tesla and their self-driving cars and link the two. So one of the cornerstones of Belmont is that its infrastructure is going to be data centered, and they want autonomous public infrastructure and like stuff like transportation and whatnot. I mean, just basically picture Futurama. Um, it's basically what they want, like everything automated. Uh, what I feel, because they said they want to have a lot of data centers there. So I feel there's going to be a huge virtualization market, probably going to be a huge DevOps market. It's probably going to be a big programming market, but something is telling me that it's going to be more of the like site reliability engineers and stuff like that because automation, typically you need more of the DevOps, sysadmin type of people and the people who can go out there on the field and replace the parts and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. But you're gonna have companies. I mean, and Tesla's not the only one who's doing the self-driving cargo vehicles. Um, so as you see more and more of these companies building these autonomous solutions, you're going to see two things. You're going to see efficiency in society as a whole, uh, but you're also going to see, people losing their jobs, and they're going to be getting pushed out, and the people who are left, um, they're probably going to buy the property up, since that's what happened out in California, and rent it out to other people who are coming in to take the job, the trucking job that got replaced with the programming job, which is going to raise basically gentrification. It's basically just gentrification. So I'll tell people this, I on Twitter, when I search my news, I specifically look at technology news. So I saw this the other day and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna talk about this. And then I saw the thing with Tesla. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait till Thursday and just talk about everything as a whole. Automation in and of itself is not a bad thing. I mean, I think in order for us to have a utopia, uh, given with the resources that we have, automation is the thing that's going to do it. My problem is that yeah, AI, machine learning, um, automation, all that. And this is stuff that I work on. I'm a huge AI aficionado. I love automation. I automate as much stuff as I can in my home. I actually have a Raspberry Pi. I mess with the input output pins. Like I'm taking it and connect it to my thermostat so I could like control it remotely and stuff like that. And I want to get into drone development and all sorts of stuff. But my issue is, yeah, Arduinos. Yeah, I've messed with Arduinos. My issue is that we don't teach coding enough. I literally think that every child should learn uh, beginners programming, because that way, even if um, we have the society where everything's fully automated, if you don't know how to customize and you don't know how to code and extend the functionality, that's the thing that gives that's the thing that gives like the hardware to innovation, is how you write the software. That's why stuff like what's the thing, Alexa and Google Home, um, and Cortana for Microsoft, all those things are as popular as they are. It's not because Amazon, Google, and Microsoft built those uh, built those products. It's that they extended it out to developers, and developers can create their own solutions for it, and they have their own marketplaces. Did you teach yourself, and are you teaching your children? I did teach myself. I started learning code when I was 8 years old. I taught myself. I started my company when I was 14. And my son, he is 3. Actually, where is it? Shout out to my mom because she actually got this. This is a Koji. It is a toy that you can actually teach. You can actually learn how to code using emojis. It pairs with Bluetooth, and it has an app, and you can send commands, and it teaches basic programming logic. But when my son turns 5, when my children turn 5, they're 2 years apart, I will definitely start teaching them object oriented programming with various languages. But yeah, actually, I sell these on my website. As an affiliate on Amazon. So if you got any kids, nephews, or whatnot, head over JeromeParker.com. Head over to the shop and get one, and I'll buy from Amazon. I'll get a little kickback. But anywho, yeah, if you know how to code, then a world that is fully automated and open is a beautiful thing, because now you can write your own solutions to your own, to fit your life. I was looking at this one thing, and basically it's a robot that will farm. It'll kill all the weeds. It'll plant the seeds. It'll water, do all that stuff, and it's automated. And one robot will grow enough food for one person for 1 year. So you can just linearly or horizontally scale up the amount of robots needed to feed your family. And I grow my own garden, so I find that really cool. And the cool thing is that it's open source. When something is open source, that means it's open to the public. You can extend it, you can edit it, do whatever you want to it, and it's free. So I'm a big open source advocate. I believe that the open web, open code, open everything. What are your expectations for the semi? I think that um, I think that Tesla is going to speak to all these other DMV companies. I think they're gonna stay out west because it's just easier to do tech innovations out west than it is out east. I think they're going to continue to do their prototypes and talk to the DMVs. And then as the lithium ion battery technology catches up to diesel performance, they're going to all of a sudden have their semi trucks tested and working. And they're going to outsource their technology to shipping companies. I think they're going to outsource the technology to shipping companies and make municipal contracts where the companies have to go through Tesla. That's what I think they're going to do. I think they're thinking, big corporate municipality relationships. Um, yeah, I mean, did you see? Was it yesterday that SpaceX launched a payload into space, and it's for the U.S. government, but that's all anybody knows. Nobody knows what's in that payload they sent on that rocket from Florida last night. They just know it's from the U.S. government. Elon Musk is a very smart man. I would not be surprised if he ends up running for president. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates would end up running for president. And I think that if any of these tech giants ever do run for president, I think they're going to win by a landslide. Um, Seraphin, what are you saying? What am I saying about what, Seraphin? I'm confused. I was talking about uh I was talking about my expectations for the semi trucks from Tesla. Tesla has these new self-driving semi trucks that they unveiled, and they have trying to make partnerships with the Nevada and the California DMVs. And then I'm also talking about Bill Gates, his decision to purchase 25,000 acres out in Phoenix. Or about, have you heard the Fisker news? I don't know what Fisker news is. You're gonna have to enlighten me on that. But I was also talking about how Bill Gates bought 25,000 acres to start a smart city. And now I'm basically just talking about automation, the double-edged sword of it, how it's inherently it's great. It's great for society, but it's only great solid state battery production. New karma. I think you misheard me. I didn't say anything about karma. Uh, I said I wouldn't be surprised if any of these tech giants run for president. Um, what I was saying was Elon Musk specifically has made these is has made municipal contracts before, like SpaceX working with NASA. And last night they launched a satellite, and it had a government payload on it, but no one knows what was on that payload. They just know it was for the U.S. government. So, I think what he did with SpaceX, he's going to do with these autonomous semi trucks and work with municipalities. But yeah, automation in and of itself I think, is great for society, but it's only great if the majority, or at least a certain percentage of the society, understands how to code. And I really think that every child should be taught programming. And it's probably not going to be taught in schools very, very soon. Fisker filed patents for solid state batteries charging in 1 minute. Hmm. Post a post a link if you can. I'm interested in looking at that. I think I've actually heard of that. I've heard of different solid state batteries, but they would probably they wouldn't use that. They definitely wouldn't sell that stuff commercially. Um, that is stuff that might be used for military purposes, but they definitely wouldn't do it commercially. So I'm sure that that's probably going to stay buried for a while. But yeah, so I don't think that the public education system is going to be teaching programming on a mass level very soon. I don't know if you guys saw or not. I posted this on my blog a few weeks ago. The title of the article was "Why the U.S. Economy is in Trouble If We Don't Start Teaching More Computer Science." And the premise was basically not the justice system, the education system is pretty much failing our children. We're not teaching it. We're in such a need for computer scientists that they're building a floating city off in the international waters off the coast of San Francisco to house immigrants who are coming over for these jobs. They're going to live on this floating island, and them and their families. And all these jobs are going to be senior level positions. I'm talking positions that pay, on the low end are paying 120,000. Um, so when I did the numbers, it was something like $7 or $11 billion a year, you know, to pay all these people, plus whatever the cost is going to be to run this island. Uh, so we rather spend that than you know having dedicated computer science programs in the United States. Um, I mean, it would be cheaper to do that. I don't understand, but coding is free to learn. I mean, computer science in general is free to learn. You have Khan Academy, you have edx.org. I'm doing brand building this year and or working on next year. I really want to go hard with the general knowledge of programming. I'm going to have some people helping me out. So, you have all these different resources to learn these skills, but I definitely think that is necessary. Um, if any of you have I'll tell you where to start. If any of you have a Google Home or an Alexa or anything, start there. All of those things have open developer kits. Start writing your own programs. People often ask me like, how do I get started coding? And that's such a hard, difficult question to answer because different types of programming requires different types of mindsets. Writing web apps requires a different mindset than writing mobile apps. Writing apps for Alexa are going to require a different mindset than writing apps for iPhone. So, but programming in by my definition should make your life easier. So I always tell people, whatever you want to do, whether you want to do a web programming or mobile programming or something, write an app that's going to automate something personal in your life. Um, Let me give you an example. So I wrote an app called Socket Droid. It's on the App Store, on the Google Play Store, and it allows me to like get all my text messages. I can track my phone in real time. Um, I can vibrate it, send push notifications. I can send text messages through the app. Very Socket Droid. Uh, SOCKETDROID. And basically, you can control your phone through a web service anywhere in the world. I at the time I had a phone that didn't keep the charge sucked, so I kept on the charger a lot. So I had my phone downstairs, or I would lose it or something, and I could just go on Socket Droid, find my phone, send a text message, do what I had to do without having to leave my desk. So I just wrote that app for myself, and then I packaged it and put it on the App Store. But vast majority of the apps that I write start off with a selfish purpose. They form some sort of um, purpose for myself. So on my blog, once again, which is www.jeromeparker.com, a couple weeks ago, I wrote an app series for automating your Twitter account because one of the things, how much time did it take? It took like 3 days. Uh, if you put all the time together, it took like 3 or 4 days. It was pretty simple. Um, that's on my to-do list by next spring to add some more advanced features and clean it up a little bit. But yeah, so I wrote a series about automating your Twitter account because Twitter is my biggest where my biggest following is, and I don't have the time to be as active and tweet as often as I would like to. And I'm not going to pay a service like Hootsuite or anything. So I learned the Twitter API and I wrote my own automated suite where I can manage, I can schedule my post. Um, it follows people based on interest, like coding and gaming or whatnot, and it'll auto like their post. It'll send people a friend request. If they send me or if they follow me or whatnot, it'll send them auto DMs, tell them to check out my blog, this, that, and the other. So, like I said, that I wrote that app to service me, but now I'm rewriting it uh, to be an app that competes with stuff like Hootsuite. Because cool thing about having DevOps and programming experience is that I could literally be a one-man company. I know how to manage and run the servers, and I know how to do the code. Um, so are you advocating automation or opposed to it? I'm advocating automation. I think automation is a good thing inherently, but it's only good if the population is ready for it. And right now, as it stands, we are not ready for it on the level in which corporations are trying to push it. We, but once we're ready for it, then yes, I think there should be full force. It's a double-edged sword because the rate that they're trying to push it right now is going to displace a lot of people who are not in the IT sector. Let me give you an example. When I was in Amsterdam over the spring, me and my wife and we went to the McDonald's that was near our hotel. And inside this McDonald's, there were no cashiers. If you wanted to order your food, you had to go to this touchscreen panel. You place your food, you pay, and then there's only a couple people in the back who are cooking the food. So in a normal McDonald's that might have needed 10 or 8 people, this McDonald's only needed 2. Um, so imagine that happening. Now, the European economic system is different. They ain't really hurting the jobs, but imagine if like over the course of 1 or 2 years, that happened to all the McDonald's, all the fast food restaurants, period, in America. What would that do to our economy? Because right now we don't have universal basic income. They're basically trying to get rid of welfare and Medicaid and stuff. You saw the Senate tax bill passed today, or the House tax bill passed today. So imagine if that level of automation happened that fast here in America, what would happen to the economy? That's why I'm opposed to the direction that it's going right now, because we do not have the legislation. Square is adopting Bitcoin to its platform. Oh, I didn't hear that, but it's about time. It is about time. Uh, Anybody in here mess with Bitcoin? I do. I have a Bitcoin app. I'm still working on the kinks and whatnot. But Bitcoin is the future. It's going to hit 10,000 before the summer. Mark my words. It's going to be 10,000 a coin. Some economists say it could go up to 50,000 before it plateaus. I don't know if it'll get that far, but I definitely know it's going to hit 10,000. We got people in here, but nobody's liked the like button. I need you guys to hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, I need you to subscribe. Oh, by the way, my shirts came in today. My Code Life shirts. Let me get this real quick. Let me switch this around. So we have hashtag code life. Hold on, I'm wearing mine, but I also got a hoodie on. Hold on one second. Let me switch this back. Show you what it looks like front and back. All right. Oh no, my bad. All right, so we have, it says hashtag code life, and then on the back, did events start already? Which event are you talking about? The live stream? No, the live stream started. JeromeParker.com. So you can get these at my website, JeromeParker.com. I will have a link in the description. But yeah, I just got my shirts in today. If you buy one now while they're on sale before the end of the year, then you get 50% off of my ebook when it comes out in the spring, From Noob to Artisan. It is learning Laravel and front-end web development for beginners who have never touched it before. And if you haven't followed me before, how I like to write apps, since I'm a person who lives off my app money, I'm a very strong advocate of building apps that you can monetize. So each app um, in the series is apps that you can monetize. Now, granted, the ideas are stuff like, a virtual lemonade stand and stuff that probably wouldn't be applicable in the real world, but the premise is to get you thinking not only as a software engineer, but getting you thinking as a technopreneur, getting you thinking about, hey, I have the power to create software with my fingers. How can I translate that? How can I translate that into dollars in my pocket? So we'll be teaching you how to work with the Stripe program, and we'll also be doing a Bitcoin app as well. So be looking for that in the spring. I'm having a targeted date of the Ides of March. So if you guys don't know, that's the middle of March. Um, and yeah, it's going to be Tesla Smart City cryptocurrencies. How does it all play out? How does it all play out? So I think that cryptocurrencies are going to be, I think the dollar is going to fall, and that cryptocurrency is going to be king. And I think Bitcoin is going to be king because it has first movers advantage. But I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's been several countries that have put forth proposals to have their own cryptocurrency as the national currency. And there's even some talks about Americoin, which would be America's digital currency. Nothing official has been said yet, but you can go online and see where people have been talking about it. But how I see, like, for example, how I see the smart city, I see, like, I don't know if Liberland, Liberland, new country. Yeah, I could definitely see stuff like that. I could see a whole bunch. I could see the cryptocurrency, like, it's more than just financial. It's a social change. You're, like, literally giving financial power back to the people with no middleman. But no, I see stuff like the smart city. If you're gonna get on the public transportation, that they'll probably like be like you can pay with card or you can pay with any various cryptocurrency. And I can also see them giving you an incentive to pay with cryptocurrency, since people are dumping. Like, I used to invest heavily. I mean, I still do invest in gold and silver, but I used to invest heavily. Like, nah, man, cryptocurrencies. Like, I still do stocks, bonds, precious metals and stuff, but the cryptocurrency wave, if you can afford to buy mining equipment, you need to get on that. Uh, right now, Bitcoin is over $7,000 a coin, and that is equally to do with the confidence in cryptocurrency as much as it has to do with the fact that the dollar's value drops every day. So you got to look at it like that, you know? You sold your precious metals and you bought Bitcoin. That's a smart idea, especially if you look at the trends. That's a very smart idea. When I start getting my real estate property, I'm going to have tell people, you know, they can pay me in Bitcoin, and I'm probably going to offer a discount if you pay me in Bitcoin, like 5% or something like that. But I want to incentivize people. So, you know, one of the kinds of apps that I write are point of sales or POS apps, and I always incorporate Bitcoin payments as well as credit card payments. Um, the town that I live in, you know, if I have it my way by the end of next year, I'll have several companies in the town taking Bitcoin, and hopefully, you know, I'll be that person who is collecting all the payments, building in that residual income. But yeah, I mean, what are your guys? What do you guys think about automation? Are you for it or are you against it? And if so, why? Let me see. I got a Google Hangouts number. I was trying to stream from my laptop, but it was crapping out. But if you guys want to call in, let me see if I can have it pull up on my laptop. I don't want to put it on speaker. It's kind of ghetto, but I really wanted you guys to call in. I don't know. It's up to you guys, or we could just talk over chat. It's up to you. What are you guys' thoughts on automation? What are your thoughts on the articles that I read? What are your thoughts on um, your view on the smart city? Total automation. I'm not trying to work. Feel you there. What? Here's how I've kind of thought about it. How bad has our society messed up where we think that a future where robots do all of our manual work is a bad thing? Like that's going to stop people. Like for example, I play violin. If um if we get to the point where everything is 100% automated, and I'm trying to do that for myself, you know, already I'm at the point I work from home. But if I get to a point where I don't have to do any work, period, I'm just playing violin all day because that's what I love to do. Automation equals deflation. Yes, I believe that is true as well. I believe that is true as well. Because if you have automation, then there's nothing that you can artificially inflate because you can precisely measure everything consistently. It runs the same 24 hours a day. You have no means of artificially inflating an economy. That's why I also think that Bitcoin is a good investment for global trade and commerce. Yeah. Where's everybody from? Who's watching in here? Where's my my audience count? Let's see. Let me see if I can find. I had another article I wanted to share with you guys, but I exited out my tab. I'm pretty sure I liked it on Twitter. Let me see. And let me go to my profile. Go to my likes. Oh, I forgot I had the automated app running. Got a lot of likes. Did I retweet it? Hopefully I retweeted it. Hmm. Oh yeah, you guys see that Facebook's gonna begin live streaming college basketball games? I thought that's pretty cool. Ah, here it is. A team of robots planned, designed, and built a 3-story house, all automation. we had one machine that like cut the wire frame, another machine that like poured the cement, and another machine that like did the paint and stuff like that. But how long did it? Let me see. Does it tell you how long it took it? Using with 3D printers. Can I turn this around? Cool. There you go. So it just built that. That entire house was built out of 3D robots doing 3D printers. That's crazy. Do you know how much time and money people save? You know those machines only cost about $25,000 each. $25,000. You can only have one of them, and you can build. You can build your house for $25,000. Much better than a mortgage for like 250,000. I don't know, but that's cray cray. This was a productive stream. You guys really, you guys talked. Like this was the most comments I've ever had on a live stream. Thank you. But yeah, so automation is everywhere. I could talk about this forever, but you guys, I think you guys need to learn how to code. I don't think I know. You guys need to at least know how to do like simple scripts. I mean, you guys are a lot of you. How many of you are watching me on your phone right now? There's you got a supercomputer right there that is free for you to learn how to program. But I say you should stick with the web apps because you can run that everywhere. What's the best way to get started? The best way to get started, in my humble opinion, is to come up with an idea for something that would make your life easier. Something simple. Even if it's I don't know, an alarm clock that calls you. Write an app for that. What is something in your life that if you got this program done would make your life simpler? And then from there, uh, I would go to YouTube. Or you can always hit me up. You guys can always hit me up. If you don't follow me on Twitter, it's at MasterShake08, MasterShake08. You guys can always ask me questions. You can also send an email at inquiries@jeromeparker.com. But, I focus on web development because web is the future. So I would just, learn how to write these websites. Go to w3schools.com. The letter W, the number 3, the word schools.com. Start off with HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. Spend 15 minutes a day. If you have an hour a day, do it. What I suggest is that you guys bring you laptops. And if you don't have laptops and you're near a public library, on your lunch break, bring your laptop or go to a library or some place where there is a laptop or computer. Spend that hour on these tutorials learning how to code. If you do that, if you do 1 hour a day, I guarantee you by the end of the month, you will know how to code. C++ was the second language I ever learned. I do not recommend. I learned C++ when I was 10, but it was very hard for me to learn. I do not recommend to learn that being your first language that you learn. I think you should start with web programming and then you should switch over to systems programming. Now, as far as like I don't mess with .NET. I'm actually really good at .NET. I've done a lot of .NET projects, but I'm an open source guy. I'm PHP, JavaScript, and Java for Android. Now, I taught myself Java when I was 8. Java's a good language to learn, and you can do Android with Java. You can also do backend web with Java. Wow, I didn't think I was going to make it to an hour, but I'm here at 50 minutes and 45 seconds. It's pretty cool. Next Tuesday. Now remember, guys, I do my tech talks on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think it seemed like 8 o'clock was a good time. I'm sorry I started 15 minutes late, but I'm gonna try to stick around that 8 o'clock time schedule. But next Tuesday, I'm going to speak on starting out with your first web app, and you're being and trying to figure out what that first idea is and how to market it. Tomorrow, I'm going to do part 2 for my file sharing application. So if you haven't already hit that like button, and if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, and hit the bell so you get notified when I go live. Is there anything else? I think that's about it, guys. I really appreciate your feedback. I really appreciate your time. Please share this video. And also, once again, I'm selling my Code Life t-shirts. Got my t-shirt on right now. As you can see, got my Code Life t-shirt on. You can get that at JeromeParker.com. Go to the shop. We got the shirt here. On the back, it has the website, JeromeParker.com. And no problem. Thank you. Thank you for watching the stream. I'm going to be more consistent. I'm really glad. I appreciate the love you guys are showing me. And join back tomorrow when I finish part 2 of this file sharing app. I'll stick around at 8 o'clock. See you guys later, and God bless.